Hello everybody, today we're going to be doing the 1948 alternate presidential election. We have Harry S. Truman versus Dwight D. Eisenhower versus Strom Thurmond. So as you can see, I already have these safe states filled out. These are all the states that were won by over 15. That's what I consider safe at this moment for when we look at past presidential elections anyway. And so we're now going to go, we're going to start from the likely margins that were in real life and see what would happen this time. Arizona, I think that would stay with Harry S. Truman by a likely margin. Now, you got to take in consideration that Dwight D. Eisenhower is a more stronger candidate than Tom Dewey, or Thomas Dewey, whatever you want to call him. He very appeal all across the country for his fight in the war. And Harry S. Truman, you could look at him as the Donald Trump of his time. The right hated him, or I consider back then the left. Republicans, we have had a political realignment many times in our great country of ours, and I might make a video about that. Harry S. Truman was the conservative in this election. Dwight D. Eisenhower was the liberal. And he was hated by the left. That's, if you don't, just look it up. Andrew Jackson, very conservative, was a Democrat. Republicans, Abraham Lincoln, very liberal, was a Republican. Montana, I think that would go to him by a lean margin. I think this, this Bible-heavy area right here will do a lot better for Dwight D. Eisenhower over Truman this time around, just due to his military background. Kansas, I think that goes to Eisenhower safe. Utah, again, lean. It'll be lean for Truman. North Dakota, I think that's safe for Eisenhower. He'll do a lot better in these areas. Nebraska, I'm going to say safe as of right now. Virginia, I still think that goes to Truman by a likely margin. Democrats very popular in the South. Strom Thurmond did take a lot of the votes away from Harry Truman in the South, but it still didn't seem to do much, as he still won a huge majority of the states by a safe margin. New Hampshire, I'm going to say that's likely still. Again, Republicans were very popular in the New England area back in the day, and I think Eisenhower would do just a lot better than 5% in the state. He'd probably hit around 9 to 8% easy. Colorado, I think that's going to lean in Truman's column. Now we have South Dakota. I think, actually, you're going to make a bold statement and say South Dakota is safe. I think Eisenhower will boost the trend in South Dakota from where it was a lean red to make it safe red. Eisenhower don't play around if you just take a look at what he does for campaigning. Wisconsin, I'm going to say that tilts in Truman's column. Again, the Rust Belt was heavy Republican. As soon as Truman got out of office, it started becoming heavy Republican, and it's all because of Dwight D. Eisenhower. And Eisenhower is a Rust Belt heavy candidate, so I think that's why he would make Wisconsin close. New Jersey, I'm going to say Eisenhower wins that by a likely margin. Again, the New England appeal. Wyoming, I'm going to say tilt. I know, Wisconsin, Wyoming, everyone's favorite state. It's tilt. Again, after this, Wyoming became very heavy Republican. I think this was the last election where Wyoming was blue. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Pennsylvania, again, I'm gonna say that stays lean. Again, Rust Belt heavy. Dwight D. Eisenhower was. Oregon, I'm gonna say that's lean as well. Again, the West Coast has always been very liberal, and they've always gone. And the Republicans, again, used to be liberal. Just look it up. Nevada, I'm gonna keep that the lean margin. I'm gonna keep it there. Idaho, I'm gonna say that narrowly goes to Eisenhower. Michigan, that was one, or Iowa. Let's just do Iowa first. I'm gonna say that tilts. Again, the Rust Belt heavy candidate Dwight D. Eisenhower was very heavy on the Rust Belt. Michigan, I'm gonna say that stays lean, considering Dewey only won it by 1. I could say he'll win it by 4, roughly 4.4, roughly in this margin down here. Maryland, I'm going to say that's won by a lean margin. Again, when we get down here, it's going to be harder and harder to make the gains, as well as Delaware. I think it'll be lean. Now we have our, now we have our tilt states that were won by less than 1. New York, I'm gonna make a bold statement and say that narrowly goes to, Truman. Thomas Dewey was from the state of New York. He was the governor of New York, a very popular governor at that, and he was only able to win it by less than 1. The state seemed to be trending to the right of the country, or to the Democrat column. And I'm going to say that Truman actually picks up the state against Eisenhower in this matchup. Illinois, however, I think that goes to Eisenhower tilt. Very close. Again, Eisenhower's a Rust Belt heavy candidate. Indiana, again, I'm going to actually say that goes to good old Dwight. Again, California, I'm going to say that goes to Dwight Eisenhower. Ohio, I'm going to, once again, Rust Belt heavy candidate. Now we have like a few states that were won by Truman. That all will go to, hold on, let me just look up here. I'm pretty sure I got all the states that were won by Truman. That were won by less than 15. Yes, these are all the states that were won by less than 15. I think they will all go to him by a likely margin, with Dwight on the ticket. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the 1948 presidential election between Truman, Thurmond, and Eisenhower. Harry S. Truman wins this election narrowly. He wins it 11 electoral votes over what he needs. Tell me down in the description if you agree with me, think I'm full of it. You know how this works. This is the Catic One saying, peace.